And for digraph representation, just include the edges. When there is a forward edge, include some reverse edge between each pair of vertices wherever it is applicable, right? Now coming to the last one, that is transitive closure. Transitive closure. So transitive closure of a relation is calculated. Generally, it is represented as the transitive closure. So it is equal to, so presenting closure in the form of a matrix and graph representation. However, we have constructed the symmetric closure and reflexive closure for graph representation as well as for matrix representation. That may not be that much easy for the transitive closure. Why? Because in transitive closure, what type of tuples you must have? 1, 2 and 2, 3 is there. Then you must have 1, 3. That is, if it is a graph representation, if you have an edge from 1, 2 and 2 to 3, then you must include an edge to 1, 3. Like that you must have, right? So simply you can represent this transitive closure as R star, which is equal to R union R1, R power 2. R bar means it is R power 1 union R power 2 union R power 3 union, so on up to R power 1, where n is the number of elements in the given set. N is the number of elements in the given set, right? So let us see one example for this closure, we call transitive closure. Consider a set A which contains the tuples, say elements 1, 2, 3, 4. And a relation is given as 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. Now find the transitive closure. Find the transitive closure. Right? So transitive closure is R union, R power 2 union, R power 3 union, so on up to R power n, where n is the number of elements. So here how many elements you have? 4. So it is equal to R power 1 union, R power 2 union, R power 3 union, R power 4. You know how to calculate. R means the given relation only. What is R power 2? R of R. I explained you in the previous classes. R power 3 equal to R power 2 of R. The R power 4 is equal to R power 3 of R. Is it clear, ma? Right. So first you need to calculate R power 2. R power 2 is equal to R of R. R of R. R of R is 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 of same relation, ma. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. Now what tuples you can have here? Here we have 1, 2 and 2, 3. So 1, 2, 2, 3 will give you 1, 3. Similarly, 2, 3 we have here 2, 3 and 2, 4. 2, 3 and 3, 4 will give you 2, 4. Any other tuples? No. So no other tuples. So R2 contains 2 tuples 1, 3, 2, 4. Similarly, find out R3. R3 is equal to what? R2 of R. R2 is 1, 3, 2, 4 of R is what? 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. Now the result is equal to, here we have 1, 3 and here we have 3, 4. So it contains 1, 4. That's it. No other element. Similarly, R power 4 is equal to R power 3 of R. R power 3 of R. R power 3 of R is R power 3. Here we have 1, 4 of R is what? 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. So here we have 1, 4, but there is no pair in R which starts with 4. So the result is an empty relation, nothing. That is 5. Now what is R plus ma? R plus, that is R closure is equal to what? R, that is R union R2 union R3 union R4. So in R we have 1 2 1 3, sorry 2 3 3 4. In R2 we have 1 3 2 4. In R3 we have 1 comma 4. In R4 you don't have any pair, any elements, right? So check whether it is transitive or not. 1 comma 2 2 comma 3 is there, so you must have 1 comma 3. Yes, it is there. And 1 comma 2 2 comma 4 is there, you must have 1 comma 4. Yes, it is there. 2 comma 3 3 comma 4 is there, you must have 2 comma 4. Yes, it is there. Therefore it is satisfying the symmetric, sorry, transitive property. This relation is the corresponding transitive closure for the given relation. So is it clear for you all how to find the transitive closure, ma? How to find the transitive closure? Is it clear? If you are representing, if you want to represent the transitive closure in the form of a matrix, then how you will represent? Assume that a relation is given. The matrix form of the given relation is something like 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1. Then what you have to do? You need to calculate this reflexive closure as R union R2 union R3, so on, so right? Assume that if the set contains some 3 elements, then it is R union R2 union R3, right? Now how you will represent the matrix representation? First you need to calculate MR2. How you will calculate MR2? MR and MR. MR and MR. Just perform the, you need to perform the Boolean product of MR and MR. Next, how you will perform MR3? MR3 is equal to MR2 and MR. Similarly, if it is MR4, you need to calculate MR3 and MR. So the Boolean products you need to calculate. Once you find the Boolean products, then you can get the transitive closure as R union, the transitive closure as R, that is the given matrix, union the MR2 matrix, union MR3 matrix. Shall I explain you one more example? You want me to explain one more example, or is it clear? Consider a relation R containing the elements 1 2, 2 2, 2 3, 3 3 on a set A equal to 1 2 3. Now find the transitive closure. Transitive closure. Find the transitive closure. Find the transitive closure. T of R or R star. What it can be? It is equal to R union R power 2 union R power 3. Why? Because here we have only 3 elements in the given set. There are only 3 elements in the given set. Therefore, it is equal to, first you need to calculate R2. R2 is what? R of R. R of R. 1 comma 2, 2 comma 2, 2 3, 3 3 of R. 1 2, 2 2, 2 3, 3 3. Now it is equal to 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 2. So 1 2, 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 3. So it is 1 3. 1 2 1 3. Next 2 comma 2, 2 comma 2. So you have 2 2, 2 comma 2 and 2 comma 3. So it is 2 comma 3. Next 2 comma 3 and 3 comma 3. So 3 comma 3. Sorry. That's it. Right? Similarly, R3. R3 is R2 of R. R2 is this 1 2 1 3 2 2 2 3 3 3 of R. What is your R? 1 2 2 2 2 3 3 3. Now it is equal to 1 2 2 2. 1 2 2 2 means it is 1 2 only. Next 1 2 2 3. So it is 1 3. Next 1 3 3 3. So it is 1 3. Any other tuples you can have? That's it. 1 2 1 3. 1 3 is anyway it is there. So 1 2 and 1 3 are the only two tuple. So what is the transitive closure? You just perform union operation on this, on R2 and this. Then you will get 1 2 2 1 2 1 3 2 2 2 3 3 3. 1 2 1 3 2 2 2 3 3 3 you will get. Is it clear now? Now suppose if you want to perform, get the matrix representation, how you will perform? So what is the given relation? Given relation is 1 2. So you will get a matrix of size 3 by 3. Why? Because the number of elements in the set are 3. So given relation contains 1 comma 2. First row, second element, first row, second column. Next second row, second column. That is 2 2. 2 3 means second row, third column. And 3 3 means second row, third row, third column. Remaining are zeros. Right? Now how you will calculate the transitive closure of the matrix form? So you need to find MR and MR1, MR2 and MR power 3. MR power 3. MR power 2 and MR power 3 you have to calculate. And then you can perform the union operation. Right? So how you will calculate MR2? MR2 is equal to MR and MR into MR. MR into MR. That is 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1 into 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. You know how to perform the multiplication, right? First row into first column. 0 into 0 is 0 plus 1 into 0 is 0. 0 into 0 is 0. Right? Now, next, first row, second column. 0 into 1 is 0. 1 into 1 is 1. 0 into 0 is 0. First row, third column. 0 into 0 is 0. 1 into 1 is 1. 0 into 1 is 0. Now, second row, first column. 0 into 0 is 0. 1 into 0 is 0. 1 into 0 is 0. Second row, second column. 0 into 1 is 0. 1 into 1 is 1. 1 into 0 is 0. Second row, third column. 0 into 0 is 0. 1 into 1 is 1. 1 into 1 is 1. Now, third row, first column. 0 into 0 is 0. 0 into 0 is 0. 1 into 0 is 0. Third row, second column. 0 into 1 is 0. 0 into 1 is 0. 1 into 0 is 0. Third row, third column. 0 into 0 is 0. 0 into 1 is 0. 1 into 1 is 1. Now the result will be, if at least one value is 0, 1, then it is 1. 0, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1. 0, 0, 1. Right? This is MR2. Similarly, what you have to do, you need to calculate MR3. MR3 is, take the result of MR2. That is 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. Now this is to be multiplied with MR. MR is 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. So you will get some value. You will get one resultant value. After that, what you need to do is perform union operation of this and this and the result of the MR3. Right? Then you will get the transitive closure. You will get the transitive closure. Clear, ma? Is it clear? So this is about the closures of the relations: reflexive closure, transitive closure, and symmetric closure. So how do we calculate the reflexive closure? R union I. Similarly, transitive closure is R union RT, and the transitive closure is R union R power 2 union R power 3 union, so on up to R power n, where n is the number of elements in the given set. So these are the three closures of relations. Graph representation of transitive relation is same. Let me explain. So what is the relation we have considered previously? Let me write the relation once. So the relation is R equal to 1 comma 2, 2 comma 2, 2 comma 3, 3 comma 3. So first, what is the graph for this? Three elements are there. So you will have 3 vertices. 1 comma 2, next 2 comma 2, 2 comma 3, and 3 comma 3. So if you have a path from A, B, B, C, then you must have a path from A to C, right? So 1 to 2, 2 to 3 is there. You must include a path from 1 to 3. So this is the graph representation. 1 to 3 path must be included. Clear? Surya Teja. Did you understand, ma? Surya Teja, did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to explain one more for graph representation?
Clear, ma'am. Understood.
One more example.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. So let's move on to the next concept, that is partial orderings. Shall I continue the partial orderings? Shall I continue with the next topic now? So the partial orderings. I'll finish off with this topic. Partial ordering of relations. So it is also known as coset. So any relation R, a relation R on a set A is called a partial ordered set. Is called a partial ordered set if the relation is reflexive, antisymmetric, and transitive. A relation R on a set is known as a partial ordered relation. Partial ordered relation if the relation satisfies reflexive property, antisymmetric property, and transitive property. The symbol used for this partial ordering is the less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. You can write this as A comma less than or equal to. That means the relation formed on set A is a partial ordered relation. Is a partial ordered relation. Clear? Now, so here to represent the partial ordering of a relation, you will use a pictorial representation. The partial ordering of relations is represented using a pictorial notation, and that is known as Poset diagram. Poset diagram. It is also called as hash diagram. Poset diagram or hash diagram. So the pictorial representation of partial ordered relations is known as Poset diagram or a hash diagram. Right? Let me discuss some examples on this hash diagram. Right? So how you know how to diagram a graph. Hash diagram is something like a graph. It contains vertices as well as the edges, but it is an undirected graph. Whatever previously we have discussed the directed graph, the relations can be represented using the directed graph, but this hash diagram is an undirected graph. You will have edges and vertices with no directions, with no direction, right? So how you will represent the hash diagram is, so each element in the hash diagram is represented with some circles, something like the vertices what we have represented in the graph representation. So each element in the hash diagram is represented with an element, with some circles, or you can use some dot, right? Now you can draw a line between the vertices. You can draw a line between the vertices if these two elements satisfies whatever the condition is given in the relation. If these two elements are satisfying the condition given in the relation, then you can have an edge between these two vertices. If let me explain you with example, then it will be easy for you. You can understand it easily, right? Consider a relation D6 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6 is a relation. Now draw the hash diagram for D6 division. This is division operation now. Division operation. Okay? Now draw the hash diagram for this. That means division operation is to be satisfied. The operation to be satisfied on the elements is the division operation. Now in the hash diagram, elements are represented with the circles. So how many elements you have? 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 6. So these are the 4 elements given in the set, right? So now what is the condition to be satisfied? Division. Is 1 divides 2? Yes, 1 division 2 is possible. Therefore, you can have an edge between 1 and 2. Similarly, 1 divides 3 is also possible. Therefore, you can have an edge between 1 and 3. Similarly, 2 and 6, between 2 and 6 is the division is possible? Yes. 2 and 6, between 2 and 6, the division is possible. Therefore, you can have an edge from 2 to 6. Similarly, between 6 and 3, you can also have, division is also possible. Therefore, you can also have an edge from 3 to 6. Between 3 to 6, you can also have an edge. Similarly, from 1 to 6 also, you can have an edge. Why? Because 1 and 6, between 1 and 6, you can have the division operation possible. Clear, ma'am? So in this way, you can write the hash diagrams for the given relation, given conditions. The relations with given conditions. No, ma'am. No, there is no quiz. I just want to finish off the second unit. I will not conduct a quiz. Okay. Next is hash diagram. Next example is consider a set containing the elements 2, 3, 4, 9, 12, 18. Now consider, draw the hash diagram for the relation same division. Draw the hash diagram for the same relation division operation, but the elements are different here. Here the elements are different, right? So 2, 4, You will understand why I am writing this like this. 2, 4, 12, 3, 9, 18. Right? Now, what is the condition to be satisfied? Division condition is to be satisfied. Does 2 and 3 are divisible? No, 2 and 3 is not divisible. So you cannot have an edge between these two. 4 and 9? No. 12 and 18? No. 2 and 4? Yes, it is divisible. So you can have an edge from 2 to 4. Similarly, 4 to 2. 4 to 2. Is it possible, ma'am? 4 division 12 is possible? Yes, it is possible. So when this hash diagram is having a path from 2 to 4 and from 4 to 2, it obviously means that 2 to 12 is also a path. So there is no need to have 2 to 12. No need to have 2 to 12 path. Why? Because 2 to 4 to 4 to 12, it implies that there is a path from 2 to 12. That means 12 and 2 are 12 is divisible by 2. 12 is divisible by 2. Similarly, 9 is divisible by 3 and 18 also divisible by 9. 9 is divisible by 3, 18 is divisible by 9. Right? Can we have any other edges? Can we have any other edges? Other than these, any other edges is possible? Two to 3? No. 2 to 9? Not possible. 2 to 8? Yes, it is possible. Why? Because 18 is divisible by 2. 4 to 3? No. 4 to 9? No. 4 to 18? No. 12 to 3? Yes. 12 to 9? No. 12 to 18? No. Any other edges possible? So this is the corresponding hash diagram for the given relation. Is it clear, ma'am? One, two, three. What do you mean by 1, 2, 3? Satvika. Twelve to 3. Yes, 12 to 3 I have drawn. Clear? Next example is a set A which contains some two elements like A and B. Two elements A and B. And draw the hash diagram for P of A subset. Draw the hash diagram for P of A subset. That means draw the hash diagram for the power set of the given relation. Draw the hash diagram for the power set of the relation. So what is the power set, ma'am? What is the power set? Power set always, there are two minimal elements in the power set for any set. That is, empty set is always a power set and the given set itself is always a power set. Along with these two, we have A, which is also a subset of the given relation, and B is also a subset of the given relation, right? Now, it contains 4 elements. 4 elements. So, your hash diagram will have 4 vertices. 1, 2, 3, and 4. First vertex is 5. Next vertex is A. Next element is B. And the next element is A, comma B. Now, the hash diagram will be like this. So, is 5 a subset? Sorry, is A subset of 5? Yes. So, 5 is a subset of the set A. Similarly, 5 is a subset of also a B. So, you can have an edge from 5 to B. Similarly, A is also a subset of AB. A is a subset of AB. Similarly, B is also a subset of AB. Clear? Therefore, this is the corresponding hash diagram. Now, you draw the hash diagram for, consider the elements of A are A, comma B, comma C. And draw the hash diagram for the power set of A. Draw the hash diagram for the power set of A. First, identify what are the tuples you can have in the power set. Power set means what? The subset, all the subset elements of the given set. One is 5. Next, A, B, C. A, B, A, C, B, C. And the last one is A, B, C. So, how many elements you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Therefore, you must have 7 vertices. In the hash diagram, 7 vertices. Try to draw the hash diagram. We'll give you 2 minutes of time. You draw the hash diagram. Let me know whether you are able to draw or not. Ma'am. 5 to AB. Yes. 5 to A, 5 to B. Dharantesh, what is your doubt? I didn't get it. Let me write the vertices here. You please include the edges. This is 5. A, B, C. A, B, C. And one more is AB, AC, BC. And the last vertex is ABC. So these are the edges. I have written the edges. You please include. Sorry, I have written the vertices. You can include the yes, 5 to AB. C is also there, Dharantesh. The set contains 3 elements A, B, and C. So you can have an edge from 5 to A, 5 to B, 5 to C. You try on your own. I'll explain you after 1 minute. Finished, ma? So see here, this 5 is a subset of A. So you can have an edge from 5 to A. Similarly, 5 to B and 5 to C. Right? Now coming to this A. This A is a subset of AB and a subset of AC. Similarly, B is a subset of AB and a subset of BC. Right? Now this C is a subset of AC and a subset of BC. Now this AB is a subset of ABC. AC is also a subset of ABC. And BC is also a subset of ABC. Clear? This is the corresponding hash diagram. Understood? Have you understood, ma'am? Make it fast, ma'am. Time is running. Do you have any DVMS class after this? That is what I said. So here we have an edge from 5 to A and A to B means this 5 is a subset of AB. In the first example only I explained, right? So if you have an edge from A to B and B to C, it means that A to C is possible. A to C is possible. So here 5 is a subset of A and A is a subset of AB, which means that 5 is also a subset of AB. That can be known from this graph. You can understand from this graph that this 5 is a subset of AB Phi is a subset of ABC. Phi is a subset of everything. Similarly, A is subset of AB, A is subset of AC, and this A is subset of ABC. A is subset of ABC. Any other doubts? So next example is draw the hash diagram for D12 slash. Slash means it is a division operation. Sorry. Draw the hash diagram for D12. Phone attendance చేయాలి. Phone attendance చేయాలని చెప్పి. Right? So here this D12 means it means all the positive integers less than 12 which are divisors of 12. The positive integers less than 12 which are divisors of 12. That is the meaning of this D12, right? So what are the divisors of 12, ma? 1 is a divisor of 12, 2 is a divisor of 12, 3 is a divisor of 12, 4 is a divisor of 12, 5 is not a divisor of 12. 6 is a divisor of 12, 7 is not, 8 is not, 9 not, 10 is not a divisor, 11 is also not a divisor, 12 is a divisor of 12, right? So the set contains these elements, total of 6 elements. So your hash diagram will contain 6 vertices, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So your hash diagram is having 6 vertices. Now see try to include the edges. So this one is a divisor of 2. One is a divisor of 2. So what is the condition to be satisfied? Division condition is to be satisfied. So D12 means it contains the positive integers which are less than 12, and there should be all of them should be the divisors of 12. Now what is the condition to be satisfied in this hash diagram between the vertices? This division operation has to be satisfied. So this division is possible between 1 and 2. Similarly, 1 and 3 division is possible, and division is also possible between 2 and 4, and between 4 and 12 also it is possible. It indirectly means that between 2 and 12 also division is possible, and division is possible between 3 and 6, and from 6 to 12 also possible. It means that 3 to 12 also division is possible. Similarly, between 2 and 6 also division is possible. Any other edges left? Can we have any other edges other than what I have drawn? No. Yes? So this is the corresponding hash diagram. Let me explain the last example. With this I'll stop now. Consider, you draw the hash diagram for this. Meanwhile, I'll take the attendance. Draw the hash diagram for D45 comma division. The slash means you remember that it is a division operation. Something like you'll write by now 1 by 2, 2 by 3, like that you'll write now. That is the slash. That means it is a division operation. So what is this D45? This D45 contains all the elements, all the positive integers less than 45, which are divisors of 45. You please do this. Meanwhile, I'll take the attendance. D45 slash. D45 slash. Do you have any class after this, ma? All divisors of 45. 1 is always a divisor of any number. So 1. Next 2 is not the divisor of 45. 3 is the divisor. 4 is not the divisor. 5, yes. 6 is not. 7, no. 8, no. 9, yes. 9 5s are. Next 10 is not. 11, 12, 13, no. 15, yes. 15. Next after that, we'll directly have 45. Okay? You please check, ma. So these are the only divisors possible for 45. Divisors of 45. Okay? Now let me draw the hash diagram. So how many elements we have? 1, 3, 5. 7 elements are there. 1, 3, 5, and 1, 3, 5.
Ma'am, 6 should not
Why did
include.
I
ma'am.
write 6 here? There is no 6. 1, 3, 5, 9, 15, 45. That means only 6 elements are there. Sorry, 6 elements are there. 1, 3, 5. Next is 9 and 15, 45. Right? Now check. So this is always possible. 1, 2, 3. 1 is a divisor. 5 is a divisor of 1. Next, 3 is a divisor of 9. Yes, 5 is a divisor of 5. 9 is a divisor of 45. This is a divisor of 15 is a divisor of 3. 15 3 is a 45. Right? Similarly, 3 is also a divisor of 45. Right? Any other edges I am missing? Am I missing any other edges, ma'am? Is it clear? Yes, same as D12 only. But the vertices are different. That is, the set elements are different. Maybe the diagram may be the same, but the set elements may be different. For this example, right? So here, in any hash diagram, the smallest, the element which is present at the lowest level is known as the least element. Is known as the least element, and the element present at the higher level is known as the greatest element. So in this case, 45 is the greatest element, 1 is the least element. Clear? Let us suppose if you have a diagram like A, B, C, D, E, F, something like this. If you have a diagram, something like this. So in this case, A is the least element and F is the greatest element. Right? So the element present at the lowest level is the least element, and the element present at the highest level. Something like the element which does not have any elements below it is known as the lowest element. The element which does not have any elements in its above level is known as the greatest element. Suppose if you have an hash diagram like A, B, C, D, and E. In this case, tell me what is the lowest element and what is the highest element. What is the greatest element and what is the least element. So here the greatest element is E. But when you observe this in the least level, that is in the lowest level, you have two elements A and B. Therefore, we cannot say which is the least element. Therefore, there is no least element in this diagram, but the greatest element is E. The greatest element is E. Okay. Similarly, if you have one more hash diagram like this, A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, and E. In this case, we have 2 in the lowest level and 2 in the upper level. Therefore, you can say that there is no least element, no greatest element. So, in this way, we can say which is the least element and greatest element of a diagram. So, least and greatest depends on, yes, obviously depends on the greatest. You cannot say that least element is the least value in the set, the greatest element is the greatest value in the set. That depends on the diagram. In the diagram, which does not have any elements below it is known as the least element. The element which does not have any elements above it is known as the greatest element. So with this hash diagram concept, that is partial ordering concept, is finished, ma. I think we are left with only 1 or 2 topics. One is functions, I think, right? So I'll try to finish off the remaining topics in the next class, that is on Wednesday. Mostly 99% I'll try to finish off the second unit before your vacation, ma. Okay? So if you have any doubts in the second unit, you please go through them. When do you have the mid exams?